Hey guys, this is Pharaoh 2091, and welcome back to Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. Last we left off, we began the class trial to determine who killed, and we found out the body belongs to Mikuru Ikusaba. So it's like, who the hell's the puppet master then? Because that's who we assumed was the puppet master, and now things are going, we don't know what the hell's going on here. So we need to convince everyone that it wasn't our alibi, that we have an alibi for the murder, and we're trying to establish a time frame of the murder. So now we have to convince Fukawa that that there's proof that that she's wet, not because of the sprinkler system. That should be easy enough to see just by looking at the body. And I believe we're going to be starting a machine gun talk battle. This should be fun. You know, I never really pay attention to the background of the excuse me, of the machine gun talk battle thing. Kind of cool looking. You know, I think it would have been kind of cool if they kind of changed the music around for the this phase of the game, instead of having just the kind of same beats kind of going on. But once again, I just always find it weird how they have something like this in this game. I don't know. Gotta reload. There you go. Well, wasn't it just because of the sprinkler system? I thought I had to change the kill shot there, but I don't think there was anything else I could use. So it's you know how like we have that aspect of like changing the ammunition for the kill shot for the machine gun talk battle. Rarely you're gonna be using it, so it's like whatever. If you look at the state of the corpse after the explosion, you should be able to see what I'm saying here. Only the upper half of the body was wet. The lower half was completely dry, remember? If the sprinklers really were the cause, then her whole body from top to bottom would have been wet. Only her upper half was wet, and her lower half wasn't? Is there no end to your perversion? I can't deal with her anymore. To get back to my explanation, the reason only the upper half of the corpse was wet was because we had to douse out the flames. It's because after the explosion, when the corpse was on fire, I only doused the burning upper half. Then, it really wasn't because of the sprinklers. Now, if the sprinklers didn't make the corpse wet, then the murder in the garden had to have occurred after the sprinklers went off at 7:30 a.m. But the murder happened between 7:30 and 9 a.m. when the corpse was discovered? But Nagi doesn't have an alibi between 10 p.m. and last night until 7:30 a.m., right? Which means Nags couldn't have done it, dude. He's got an alibi. Which makes Kirigiri the only one without an alibi. The only person with no alibi is Kirigiri. Then Mikuru Ikusaba's murder. No, that's ridiculous. There's no way Kirigiri could be the culprit. I only have one thing to say. If I am executed here for this, then the truth about this academy will never come to light. I will not let that happen no matter what. What? Are you saying you're not the culprit? Of course not. There's no way I could be. This is all a trap set by the puppet master. A trap? By the puppet master? Ah, ha, 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 ha. Things get too rough for you, so you're just gonna push it on to me? That's rough. I feel for you. But do you really think an excuse like that's really gonna work? You shut your mouth. Yes, sir. Shutting up. But Kirigiri, you also have motive for killing Mikuru Ikusaba. I can never say her damn name right. Huh? Motive? She called her the super duper high school despair. In other words, she believed her to be the puppet master. For that very reason, Kirigiri killed Mikuru Ikusaba so she can put an end to all this. But in reality, she was wrong. Kirigiri failed to realize that Mikuru Ikusaba was not the puppet master. And so, something she didn't plan for, didn't expect happened. This class trial. That's Kirigiri's motive? She's got motive and no alibi. At this point, it's pretty much set in stone. Kitty's the culprit, dude. I am not the only one without an alibi. Nagi's alibi is inadequate. What? Kitty? Huh? What the hell's wrong with you? Just because the corpse wasn't wet from the sprinklers doesn't necessarily mean she was killed after 7:30. Why not? Because there's a way to prevent the body from getting wet when the sprinklers go off. You have my attention. You can prevent the corpse from getting wet by covering it with a certain something at the scene. Something at the scene? Used to cover a corpse? Could she be talking about... Oh, God. The vinyl sheet. Really, kitty kitty? You're gonna throw me under the bus kind of like that? You mean that vinyl sheet? So you noticed. Yes, if the culprit had covered a corpse with that sheet, then it could have been in the garden when the sprinklers went off and not gotten wet. And it's exactly what that culprit did. The way the sheet is soiled corroborates that the fact that the only one side of the sheet got dirty is because the side was facing the sprinklers. The other side, which is facing the corpse, did not get wet, so it didn't get dirty. In other words, the culprit used this vinyl sheet to prevent the sprinklers from getting the corpse wet. And for what reason would they go so far just to prevent the corpse from getting wet? Most likely so they could make us believe the murder occurred at a different time when it actually did. So they would be able to make themselves an alibi, much like Nagi just did. Oh God, this is bothering me right now. Why would you say that, kitty kitty? Why would you try to make it look like I did it? No, now's not the time to be thinking about that. If that vinyl sheet really was used in the way Kitty Kitty is saying, that means it came in contact with a corpse, right? It made direct contact with the body. No, that doesn't make any sense. What about it doesn't make sense? At this rate, everyone's gonna think I did it. And I don't have time to figure out what Kitty Kitty's thinking. I just need to blow a hole in her claim. Yeah, because this is a really uncool move she's pulling off on us here, but, whatever. Man, are all these, non-stop debates have three pieces of ammunition for it? Whatever. The culprit covered the corpse with a vinyl sheet, so it wouldn't get wet. So the vinyl sheet was only dirty on one side, because that side got wet from the sprinklers. But the other side of the sheet wasn't even a little bit dirty, because the sprinklers didn't get that wet. I couldn't read that. But that side was facing the corpse. Of course it stayed clean, dude. When we found the body, the blood still hadn't dried. Tsugami even said that that if we touched it, we were likely to get our hands stained. So that means that before the explosion, there was blood, and it was still kind of wet. So to say that it was still clean is wrong. So that blows a hole in her claim, like Nagi said. So that it should be blood. There should be blood in that vinyl sheet then, if it's facing the corpse, right? No, it doesn't make sense for only one side of the sheet to be clean. Remember, before the explosion, the blood on the body still hadn't dried. Tsugami even said that if we touched it, we'd get our hands dirty. If the sheet had been used to cover the body, then there's no way it wouldn't have gotten blood on it. Maybe the culprit washed it to hide the fact that it had been used. Then there would have been. Then they would have washed both sides. Only washing one side doesn't hide anything. Well, you have a point. And what if the blood on the corpse was a red herring planted by the culprit? What? The blood? A red herring? In other words, after riding out the sprinklers by using a vinyl sheet, couldn't the culprit have poured fake blood over the body? Fake blood? And where would they have gotten that? I know! What about the transfusion bags in the infirmary? That's the same place the Adams got the blood he used when he was playing dead, dude. No, the blood used in the murder did not come from the infirmary. Rather, the culprit collected the fake blood at the crime scene, the garden. The culprit collected the fake blood at the scene. And in that case, it had to come from... Oh no! It can't be! The missing chicken! No! We know what happened to it now! Are you perhaps talking about the chicken blood? Huh? Chicken? When I last checked the chicken coop before the murder, there was 5 chickens inside. But after the murder, there were only 4. So basically, you're saying the culprit killed the chicken and used its blood. I have no words for such cruelty, dude. This is a terrible reason to kill a living creature. If it had to die, it should have been to make dinner. Okay. Perhaps the culprit used blood available in the garden because they didn't want to be seen walking around. But in any event, the fact that one chicken has gone missing is evidence in favor of my theory. Even so, that doesn't explain everything. You said a culprit waited out the sprinklers and then poured the chicken blood over the corpse. Had they done that, some of the blood could have spilled onto the ground around the body. But that wasn't the case. Only the corpse's clothes were bloody, and there was no trace of blood on the ground around it. You're right, it is peculiar that the ground around the corpse was completely unaffected. Perhaps then the culprit planted the fake blood on the lab coat in advance, elsewhere, not at the scene. Painted it on the lab coat in advance? When you first discussed the body, was it actually wearing the lab coat? As I recall... No, her arms weren't going through the sleeves. The lab coat just had been placed over the body. Then, that settles it. Sorry, I'm not really following. What did we just settle? That the murder occurred before the sprinklers went off. The reason the corpse didn't get wet is because the culprit covered it with a vinyl sheet, and after that, when the culprit went to retrieve the sheet, they placed the lab coat, which previously had chicken blood poured onto it, on top of the body. By planting these red herrings, the culprit aimed to disguise the true time of the murder, to make it seem as though the murder happened after sprinklers went off, at 7:30 a.m. You're right, that method does make it possible for a murder to have occurred before 7:30. But to do all that, the culprit would have gone to the garden after sprinklers went off, right? They wouldn't need much time at all. Huh? All they had to do was move the vinyl sheet to the shed and drape the lab coat over the body. That wouldn't take much time at all. That's probably true, but also, you know, when you ran into Nagi in the cafeteria, did the two of you stay together from then on? Nope. I went on ahead to the gym, and Nagi showed up after me. So he had more than enough time, didn't he? I wouldn't! Kitty Giddy, stop saying shit! You can't say it's not possible. It seems Kitty Giddy was correct. Nagi's alibi is inadequate. In the end, I'm back to being a suspect. But why? Why is Kitty Giddy trying so hard to corner me like this? Why? Look at her smirk right there. What are you planning? This is... I don't even know what to say anymore. And it looks like we're back to square one. Since Nagi's alibi doesn't really hold up, the suspects are he and Kitty Giddy. The real question is, which one of them did it, dude? Alright, how about we just dive right in and leave our fates to the fates? We got a 50-50 shot here. Oh! I know, dude. Nice idea, isn't it? Not that, I just remember something huge! Oh? And what would that be? I remember the knife that was in the garden by the body, all burnt up and stuff. Yeah, the one sticking out of the corpse before the explosion. Oh, crap, this is not gonna look good for me. The Monokuma file says it was jabbed through the abdomen all the way to the back. So, what about it? I feel like I've seen that knife somewhere before. And then, I remembered. No. Hey, more importantly, yeah, the knife, and they gave it to me, and now I'm really gonna look like a suspect. That's the knife I gave Nagi? Uh-oh. The lack of surprise on your face makes it seem like you already knew as much, Nagi. Yeah. In that case, why did you hide it? It's not like I was hiding it, I just... Maybe it's time you told them. I just wasn't sure with what happened last night, that it wasn't actually me who killed her. That's fishy. Way too fishy, dude. The knife sticking out of the body was Nags. So there's no doubt about it, dude. There's a 1200% chance Nags is the culprit. But from everything we discussed up until now, there's no room for doubt. I'm not the culprit. I did not murder Mukuro Ukasaba. We're just gonna have to prove that somehow. Alright, so let's get to this non-stop debate. This is gonna be nice. Oh boy. The knife used to stab Makoto Ikusaba is the same knife I gave Negi. So I was right, wasn't I? The fact that Nags had that knife means he's the culprit, dude. Why does it mean that I'm the culprit just because the knife was given to me? Because the knife wound was the cause of death. So there's no question, dude. You took that knife and you plunged it right into her. Makoto Negi, you are a fearful man indeed. You're telling me I'm a fearful man. Okay. While we were talking about the red earrings, we determined a lab coat was placed over the body after the vinyl sheet was removed, which means the knife, which was stabbed through the lab coat. Yeah, that doesn't make any sense. This sounds like another red herring here. So to say that the knife was the cause of death is, well, it's wrong. It could be simply another red herring here. And actually, looking back at the Monokuma file, did we say that the cause of death was the stab wound? I'm not even sure here. Well, while the knife may have been in my possession, it wasn't a knife wound that killed Makoto Ikusaba. That should be obvious from what we talked about during the red herring discussion. You're lying, dude! How she died never once came up! Remember what we were saying? After that we were done with the vinyl sheet, the culprit draped the bloody lab coat over the body? In other words, the lab coat was put on the victim post-mortem. What's your point? When we found the body, the knife had been stabbed through the lab coat, right? There's no way a knife piercing a lab coat placed over the victim over the knife could be the cause of death. Couldn't she have been stabbed in the same place twice? Once for the kill, once through the coat? The victim was stabbed in the same place twice? No, that's not possible. Even says as much in a certain document that we all have pertaining to the corpse. Well, that's easy. I mean, certain document we all have. Come on now. The Monokuma file explicitly states that the deceased suffered a single knife wound. Oh crap! I epically forgot about that, dude. So that knife, that too was just another red herring planted by the culprit. They most likely intend to draw our eyes to the more conspicuous death, away from the true cause of death. Having the corpse explode is probably the same reason. The body was severely damaged as a result of the explosion, hiding the cause of death. In other words, they were destroying evidence. That's why the culprit blew up the body. The culprit intentionally blew up the body after drawing our attention to the knife wound, so they could simultaneously destroy evidence and still leave us with that first impression. Hey, just a second. I got a quick question. What was that explosion anyway? Why did she just suddenly blow up? Use your damn head. There's no reason we should have Santa spoon-feed this to you. If you know, then tell me! I know, unidentified particles in our body underwent a nuclear reaction resulting in spontaneous combustion. You know, is that really... Are there actual cases of that? Now I'm just thinking about it, just out of nowhere. Because I'm thinking about the game Parasite Eve, and I know that whole game, like, they have a lot of spontaneous combustion, and it makes you wonder, are there cases of it? I don't think I've ever looked it up. I'm absolutely positive that that's not what happened. Tell him, Negi, so we're not stuck in this any longer. There's only one explanation for that explosion, and that would be simply the fragments near the body came from that bomb that they disassembled from Monokuma. Kuma. What the hell's wrong with me? You remember small fragments on the ground by the body after the explosion? Those fragments were the cause of the explosion. I feel like I recognize those from somewhere. Of course you recognize them. When we were disassembling Monokuma, Hagakiri pulled a bomb from inside Monokuma. Those are fragments of that bomb. Then the explosion was Monokuma's bomb! In any event, it's obvious now what the culprit's objective was. The culprit built Negi up as a suspect and making it look like the knife wound was the cause of death. And the only person who would benefit from doing that is the remaining suspect, Kyoko Kirigiri. Oh, hold on a second, Tugami. What? Do you have a problem? I think there's still more we need to talk about. We still don't know how Makuru Ukesawa died, for example. You're right, I would like to know too. In the end, what actually killed her? Sure, why not? Then let's continue then. Not that, when all this is said and done, it will change anything. Anyway, now I need to figure out what the cause of death was. I need to give that my full attention. And we'll be giving our full attention to it in the next episode, guys. So, as usual, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you guys next time for Let's Play Dangan Ronpa. I'll see you guys later.